It all started when I decided that I knew it was something more out there because I could feel it. I ended up getting put in prison, is how the journey started. We don't say the final journey because there was a lot of tests beforehand, but they were in the lower levels. You have to pass the lower levels to make it to the higher levels. But when it hit, it started with this tingling feeling. I was in a meditation, stretch, doing a little yoga. I was still a beginner at the time. I still consider myself a beginner now, but I always think I'm a beginner. It keeps me growing and learning. But I was sitting in a meditation, and I felt this tingling feeling. First it started in my forehead. That tingling feeling rose to the top of my head. I would feel it. Then it went from the top of my head to the back of my neck, then all the way down my spine, then until my pelvis area began to sway. And I wasn't doing it. At first it was scary, but do not fear. It was scary for the fact that I could not explain why I was having interactions that I knew were interactions, but why I was able to now feel the interactions and not just hear them, see them, or watch them and understand. Then I would be in meditation, because after I felt the tingling feeling, I started doing it more. I wanted to know more. After the movement started, I needed to know more. So I went into meditation for like a 15-hour meditation. In this 15-hour meditation, I synced every last part of my body and they helped me. It's just simple movements of, they'll tell you put your right hand up, put your left hand down, and each movement is synchronizing your spirit with the body. So your is so above as it is below, is so above as it is below. So then I introduced frequency healing and music into my meditations. That tapped me in even more. Then I realized that it didn't just go as far as my mind, my thinking, and my wishes of what I wish. It also went by the vibrations. That these vibrations is also synced to the spirit and the body also. As I went further into research, I had to know more. So I started researching all different types of backgrounds of demigods and people who have had interactions with God in their own perception and their own view. And as I go through these people, like, I notice that they're explaining the same experiences that I am going through, just from their experience. It's the same thing. We're living the same life. So then I went further into research of mudras and kundalini activation, and I realized that's what I was going through. I'm not gonna lie, I started with this hot feeling. Wait, first, let me get it straight. My period stopped first for about 2 years. I didn't have a menstrual cycle for 2 years. when my activation started. I went into a fast, a 21-day fast. And in this fast, I kept hearing everything must go. Everything must go. And I'm having these hot flashes, and I'm thinking I'm going through menopause, y'all. Because, you know, I'm up there in age. I'm not really no young, but I was born in the 80s. So I'm thinking I'm going through menopause. My body is getting hot. I'm having these hot flashes. But while I'm having these hot flashes, it's only at nighttime. Never in the daytime. Only at nighttime, in between certain hours, like 12 and let's say like 4:30 in the morning, I would get these horrible hot flashes. And as I'm getting them, I hear everything must go first. Everything must go. Everything must burn. Everything must be burnt in the furnace. But after, I don't know if y'all remember the eclipse that came a few years ago. It hadn't been one in like, I don't know how many years. I really didn't pay attention to things like that until recently, because I realized my body was timed on it. Now, something about that eclipse made it hit even harder. It's like a level up. I had a level up when that eclipse came, because then thank you for showing me and not making me have to explain. Then fully synchronized. And it started with these, I want to say convulsions, because it kind of looks like a seizure, but it's not a seizure. It's not a seizure. If you are in a calm state of mind and in the right elements and by yourself, you will be guided through it. And you'll realize you're not having seizures, you're being called in. But since you don't have balance, they shake you in. They're going to make sure you get there either way you get there. They're going to call you in either way it goes. So then at that moment, they said, no, we need you still. Be still. So I learned how to be still. And I would sit for hours in one position. And then all of a sudden, things like that started happening. And things like this started happening, which later on I came to find out was mudras, to align the mind, the body with the spirit, all becoming one in the whole. See, I knew what the mudras did for my body before I actually knew the names of them and what they was or what they meant, because my spirit team taught it to me, and God, you know? Now, I see everybody else around me going through the same things that I went through so many years ago. And now everybody is starting to talk about kundalini activation and mudras and balance and meditation and healing and frequency healing and projection and spiritual guides. And when I was a teenager, that wasn't normal. We put on masks to hide our gifts, which eventually made our gifts get taken. You don't lose them, you lose them, type thing.